Underneath the bright, silvery light, you'll be feeling better soon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Look, look, look at the stars above. Look, look, look at those sweeties love. Oh boy, give me a night in June. I mean it, all you got to do, any old night when you're feeling out of tune. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. When you make a date any old night, gonna meet your sweetie soon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Underneath the bright, silvery light, that's the only place to spoon. Pick up your hat, close up your flat, and get out and get under the moon. Walk, walk, kiss and then walk again, talk, talk, kiss and then talk again, oh joy, sweethearts are all in tune. I mean it, when it's raining out, stay in a room, but on a lovely night in June, here's what to do, sweetie, and you just get out and get under the moon. If you're with a girl and she is cold, says she doesn't want her spoon, don't you feel blue? Here's what you do, just get out and get under the moon. If you feel a kiss and she gets sore, she'll forget it mighty soon. Don't stop to fret, she'll learn to pet when you get her under the moon. Indoors, there's not a thing to do. In-laws walk in and out on you. Oh boy, sister and brother too. I've tried it, just take my advice. If she is nice, nice as any night in June, just take her hand, she'll understand, and get out and get under the moon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday Night After Dark Live, the Rage Edition. How's everybody doing? And James is right here.
Hey, everybody. Oh, man. It's
Um,
going to be a good one.
Tonight's going to be, if I don't pass out, just from how tired I am from the stupid assness today, then we'll see how it goes. Sorry, I'm answering Mark's question. I had to do the bathroom thing. How's everybody doing tonight? We'll let the room engage a Tate before we go into the madness.
Engage a date. Shit.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Mark, this may be a long one. Hey, Brian, and everybody. We'll sit here and yippity yap a regularness. Let a few people join in.
Is there any news?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah, there is some news.
Oh, see, I was even going to wait for that, but that's fine too. I don't care.
Well, we can wait on that too. That's good.
I don't give a shit. We can say it 500 times. It'll probably be said 500 times. But yeah, if you go, yeah, James is. Oh, well, let me preface this way, and then I'll let you tell the news. So for months now, we'll come on and try to give you some news, and there's never any news about Halloween Horror Nights. Well, my God, there's some news, and I'll let James tell you.
Yes. So, since the very first show that we've done, we've said there was slim to none chance that Halloween Horror Nights was going to happen. And over those months now, we have been nonstop told that we're just being negative and we don't know what the hell we're talking about. And it's of course it's going to happen because it's Halloween Horror Nights. There's no way they're going to cancel that. Well, they broke the news today. Halloween Horror Nights in both Orlando and Florida have been canceled. So, long ass night, long day. I had to get in my I told you so's, which I'm sticking with, and I will continue to say I told you so for at least a few more days. And anybody that wants to fight me on it, bring it on, because I'm ready.
Yeah. Same with me. I'm just gonna let everybody know I'm so exhausted from the bullshittery today that I'm laying on my hardwood floor, uh, stretching my back out. So if I sound different, then it's because I'm on my hardwood floor, because today has literally been nothing but just nonstop bullshittery. I'm exhausted from it. I do want to make an addendum to what James said, that we have also every time have also said that we know that it's a job creator. We know that a lot of people like it. We weren't going this year because it's a pandemic, but anybody that's going, enjoy yourself and everything else. We just wanted to hear some news. We wanted to start hearing about which houses and the scare zones. We tried to bring it out to all of you, although we still contended that it probably wasn't going to happen. And I mean, the worse numbers got in Florida, the more it just seemed to solidify itself. So I'm just making the addendum. It's not like we were rooting for it to not happen. We were just basically saying we didn't think it was going to happen. So,
The big thing was
the,
the lack of information they were giving was just absurd.
yes, I mean, oh, Danny, I did take caffeine pills and they have not worked.
Hey, Jabby.
Hey, Jabby. So that's the deal. Is it's like James and I don't want to be seeing the news about haunted attractions closing and then posting them. That's why we're posting them. If we didn't care, we wouldn't post them. We hate seeing this. It's people that won't be opening, making money. That includes Horror Nights. It includes Mickey's Not So Scary. But if we say we called it, it's not because we're like,
Yeah,
people aren't going to get paid.
Yeah, we didn't want it to happen, but
Yeah,
it was inevitable.
Yeah, but we've called a couple of things, and I'm not trying to be obnoxious. We're not trying to be obnoxious. It's just we're in an extremely horrific pandemic right now, and it just happens that Florida is considered the epicenter, and Central Florida and South Florida are extremely hard hit. We're just looking at the science. We're looking at the numbers. So we're just letting you know that Horror Nights has been canceled. I mean, we didn't really want it to happen, but it was just inevitable.
Yeah,
so,
never. I never really wanted it to be canceled. It was the way everything. If you followed the science behind everything, you knew it was going to happen, and it's the right call for them. Obviously, it's the as big of a company as they are, they took the time to weigh the pros and cons, and this really needs to strike a chord with other places that look, granted they have a huge amount of income, but when you don't do those events, that income, they have a massive overhead. So if they can do it, it can be done by other places.
Right. So that's basically as far as we know going to be the final news on Halloween Horror Nights. I do need to make the disclaimer. This is Friday night after dark, and I did put in the description there would be some swearing. So anybody who wants to fight us about it, you can fucking enjoy your fucking tribute store.
Yeah, that's all you're getting. Yep.
So
hey, Mom.
Hey, Ellen.
Yeah.
Ellen. So yeah, we're just gonna put that one to bed. Once again, the Cliff Notes version. We didn't want Horror Nights to close. The science and the numbers were pointing towards it. We were just putting that out there. We thought it was going to happen. We wanted to report good news to you. Today, report to you that Horror Nights will not be happening. It's the best thing for them. It's the best thing for everybody else. That way, next year they can do a proper 30th anniversary with all the bells and whistles instead of something watered down. So
We hope.
yeah, we hope. I mean, I saw a report that vaccines should be going out early next year. It doesn't like it's going to happen the end of this year. So, you know, that's our Halloween Horror Nights news. And to everyone that we're looking forward to going, we really do. We hate it. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
that sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. We weren't going to go, and we and there was some other people, but we sincerely know that we know some folks that really wanted to go, especially since they haven't missed a year in bazillion years. It's a pandemic. It's a global pandemic. So you know what? Calm your tits.
And my frustration wasn't so much with the people that were like, "Oh, well, you shouldn't be like, I told you so." It was every person that just routinely attacked anybody that was like, "This, it shouldn't happen. We don't, it's not like we don't want it to happen. It isn't safe, and it would be obviously a bad idea to hold this event." And then it was just their fanboy jumping on you that was just nonstop bashing because it was like you hated, you didn't want this to happen. And it's like, no, it's not it. It should not happen right now. It's not safe. I don't agree entirely with the parks being open, but looking at the way they are, there's not many people there. So I guess if you're going, enjoy your time in your spacious theme park because you're really not going to be too crowded, but as long as they maintain where they're at right now. If they let more people in, then I think it's going to start becoming an issue.
Yeah, and it does look, I mean, when we were doing Mark's Pandemic Adventures when he could, it does look like they're doing everything within their power to keep people safe. And kudos to that. And if you go and you feel safe, that's great. There are some people that just A, don't have the money, and B, they still don't feel safe, or they've got conditions where it just would not be advantageous for them to go. Jessica, yeah, there's MPHN. There might be something going on with that. I may be doing some graphics with that. I was thinking about that today, but and Blinky Cup. But so anyway, we won't beat this dead horse any more than it already has been, but that's the synopsis of it. That's the news. We got the ultimate news today, and it is what it is. Next year, depending on what's going on, and there's vaccines all over the place, I may be like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go, and it's probably gonna be one of their best years yet. So, I still, anybody gets close with me a turkey leg, I'm gonna beat their ass, but that's okay. But yeah, so we know.
What's up, Keith?
But we do know, like I said, the parks are doing the best of their abilities that we know of to keep everybody safe. They've got to make the money, and people do need some diversions.
Yeah, and there's not like a theme park during the day, like Universal during the day and Universal during Halloween Horror Nights are totally different beasts. And that was one major issue people seem to have, was they weren't understanding the differences between going right now when there's nobody there to trying to go to the Halloween Horror Nights event where you're literally in lines. Like, that's the whole night you're in a line. You constantly go from one line to another.
Right.
So
Kevin Mud will be flashing his man boobies when he goes over. Well, that's fine. It's Friday night. Hey Tara.
Hey Tara.
So that's, like I said, that the end of that is that. Unfortunately, we're going to go ahead and call this too. And once again, we don't like doing this, but there will be more haunted attractions across the U.S. and probably globally that will come across that are closing, and we just put it out there just to let everybody know, that this is some serious business. There was 2 home haunts that I saw that were announced that they weren't going to decorate today, and that's devastating. and it's because they draw big crowds and they want everybody to be safe, and they're even afraid of doing displays because it'll uh, create crowds, and they also don't want to instigate trick or treating to keep the kids safe. All the above, being very thoughtful to a fellow human being, but very sad to hear. So,
Yep. And I mean, if they're gonna have just one more time, re-loop back here. Some of these places, like Universal, I don't see why they don't just put some decorations out anyway. Just that should appease somebody. They could put some crap out in the streets to walk by and look at and make it look festive. It's not going to be Horror Nights, but it's a decoration. It's literally what we tell people they should be doing at their houses if they do nothing else. So maybe they will do it. Who knows?
yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, they got the tribute store up and running in 10 minutes.
Yeah, well, pop-ups are easy like that, I guess.
Yeah, that's me just ragging on HHN. Jessica, I think that 13th floor is happening. I will check on that and let you know. I don't think I've heard them saying they're not opening.
Well, that's the other thing too, though, is a lot of places were saying they're really watching what Universal does, as far as opening or not opening. That was in quite a few different things that I've seen. Places were like, yeah, we're really watching what Halloween Horror Nights, does, because they're so big. So who knows? This may be one of those domino effects now. It just sets off a chain.
Yeah. Keith, I'm sorry you never went to HHN. You would have enjoyed it more years ago. My opinion that most people know is that HHN is not what it used to be.
Yeah.
The past several years have not been what it used to be.
Got too commercialized, whereas before it was more creative.
Yeah. Let's see. William says that all 13 floors should be. See, I think I've seen that. I think I've seen where they are already looking for folks and putting out the times and all. See that MDHN thing? I'm gonna have. Yep, there's gonna be blanky cups. Matter of fact, I started researching that today. Now that leads us into, I think, easily leads us into the rage portion of this After Dark, because there are some haunted attractions that are deciding to do some pretty stupid ass stuff, putting out some really bad misinformation, and they're getting a bit more attention than they should from the commonality of the haunted attraction industry.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah. I think, excuse me, I think that a good word for this particular person, and his name is oh my God, what is his name? Spencer Tracy?
I don't know his last name. It's Spencer.
Shit. God bless America. Well, there's a fella named this is terrible. That's how much I'm the amount of obnoxiousness. But there was a haunted attraction called Fear City SLC. Fear City.
Fear Factory.
My God, Jesus.
You better crank up another caffeine pill.
God, I'm telling you. Yes. Well, because I was thinking about Fear City Nights here in Pensacola, which I'll talk about. But yeah, so Fear Factory SLC, their general manager, his name is Spencer. They decided to push forward to open for halfway to Halloween, which is funny because they were several weeks late with that. But they came up with this ludicrous manual of how to open up a haunt during a pandemic or after lockdown, and literally it's become obnoxious.
It's always this contingency plan. Everything's this damn contingency plan.
Yeah, and uh, he's getting interviewed a lot. He was just interviewed by Fearworm Advertising, and that was an hour and 45-minute video that I'll never get that time back in my life. But um,
Yeah.
it's propagating misinformation. Um, it's propagating other haunted attractions to half-ass follow suit to open. Where is this? Damn it! I don't know. Where is James? Look up where. Oh God, James, look up where Fear Factory SLC is.
Utah, I know that.
When you're lying, yeah, it's in
Salt
Utah.
Lake City,
Sorry,
I think.
My laying on my hardwood floor is making me rather unproductive, I'm afraid, with technology. But
yeah, Salt Lake City. Obviously, it's Fear Factory SLC.
Oh, that's what that stands for.
Yeah.
That is funny as hell. All right, well, learn something new every day. So the deal is this: they decided to push to be open for halfway to Halloween because a lot of haunted attractions, big ones, decided, yeah, it's just not worth it. We're not. Are we going to be able to open? Are we going to be shut down? And I know, right? Put on my old man glasses, Rita. So they made this magical booklet of how to open up successfully. I keep forgetting that word. How to successfully, hey 13, you just came in on time. How to successfully open a haunted attraction during a pandemic. And that's the word is successfully. And it's bullshit. Oh, I get to, yay, the cussing's beginning.
Well,
exactly.
Yeah. Explain why it's bullshit. Why this touting as a successful opening is not exactly as it was announced.
All right. There's a couple of things with that. One, they were going to be open for 2 nights. They ended up opening for 1 night and selling extremely limited tickets. Have no idea what their idea of limited tickets is, but they sold out. The second night they were going to be open, they couldn't open because the city was having riots and they had a curfew, so they couldn't open. So this haunted attraction literally opened up one evening for 3 or 4 hours with excessively limited ticket sales, and that was it. That was it. And now they're touting at themselves as being the only or the first haunted attraction
in the world
to open successfully during a pandemic. So let me give you what's SLC. Yeah, I'm right there with you, Jessica. So let me give you a quick synopsis of how fucking stupid this is. So a hamburger joint closes down for 2 months for whatever reason. Okay. Hamburger joint sells hamburgers. Okay. Maybe they got shut down by the health department. I don't know. So they announce an opening date and they open their doors and they sell a hamburger. Holy shit. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, oh my God, this hamburger joint successfully sold a hamburger. Well, no shit. What the hell were they supposed to do? What open up and sell like purses? It's literally the stupidest ass thing ever. So you have a business of any sort that's been closed for X amount of months or days or whatever. And the first day they open up, it was successful because you had people paying you money. Now I'm going to get specific in my eyes what a successful haunted attraction opening during a pandemic actually means. Okay. All of your actors get tested before you open and you get immediate results for COVID. Are they negative or are they positive? Every one of your customers gets tested, not just thermometer and all that kind of stuff. And I'm talking about tested before and see what that, which is impossible. Then they go through your haunted attraction. And then when they leave, okay, you have contact tracers continue to test them. including your actors. A successful opening of something like that or anything during a pandemic for you to keep touting that is if nobody got sick. Did people working at your haunt get sick from the customers, or did the customers get sick from your actors? And they had people signing waivers to say, if you did get sick, it ain't our fault. It's tough shit. You paid us to go through. But what's going on now is you've got this guy going around, and people are just oohing and awing over this packet of how to successfully open a haunted attraction during a pandemic. And it's complete bullshit, because all it is like CDC stuff, WHO stuff, common sense stuff, blah, blah, blah. And there is no success to it. You're a burger joint. You opened up after 2 months. You sold a burger. Whoop-de fucking do. Whoop-de-do. And what's going on too now is it's completely gone to this guy's head. And there's an old phrase, and it's called attention whore. And this guy's turned into an attention whore, because now he thinks that since this haunt that he manages successfully opened, quote unquote, for one night with limited ticket sales, and they made this ludicrous packet that he is the bee's knees or the shit. And it's insane, and it's really getting on my nerves.
And not only that, to go like, just to point this out, they were technically not the first, because we found that place in Tennessee that opened like 2 weeks before they did, that we were giving all that shit for, that we never mentioned the name of. They technically were the first in the world to open.
Damn, I wish I'd written, because you don't remember their name, do you?
It was something AM. I'll find it.
Yeah,
but they did their
that's a
quote unquote post-COVID haunt. And it was the thing that we ragged on nonstop about, because it's not post-COVID.
Yeah, there's nothing post this pandemic at all. So I'm glad you said that. I completely forgot about that. So they're not the first haunted attraction to open. Oh my God, I'm glad you remember that, because now I would totally let him know that. And the deal is this haunted attraction, they were saying they're following this, that, and the other rules and all bippity boppity boo. And, just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do it. And it kind of brings us back to Halloween Horror Nights. They could easily open up. They could be like, you know what? You fuckers can get sick all you want to while you're here. And it's not our fault. You signed a waiver. But they have enough common sense to say, you know what? It would be irresponsible to do it. It would put our actors in jeopardy. It would put you in jeopardy. We can be open during the day when we have quite a bit more control. It's not as many people and everything else. So that's one of the things about tonight is the time has literally come for some of these people who think that because you can do a thing that you should do it. So unfortunately, Fear Factory SLC and the Spencer fella and their owners, literally, I guarantee you the only reason why they pushed to do all this stuff was so that they could get the publicity of saying, which now of course is incorrect, thank you God, James, that you remember that shit, because I'm old and stuff, to be the first successfully open haunted attraction in the world. Another interview he did that Fearworm Advertising did, literally towards the end, it was like it was some sort of banner exclamation. I was waiting for him to spew it out of his mouth. I had a Latin teacher. She would use a phrase, I can't remember in Latin, but it was diarrhea of the mouth. And that's what this guy has. The other thing that I find so entertaining about this magic packet of opening of his is it's readily available. They put it out for free for everybody, because heaven forbid you open your haunted attraction without using their guidelines.
Well, they made sure to value it at $2,000.
Yeah, see, I was coming to that part. Yeah, so he put this thing out because everybody should have it. And then a few weeks later, there was a question about, is there any value in being part of the Haunted Attraction Association Club? And quite a few people were yes, no. And he decides to, once again, diarrhea of the mouth, that, oh, you should totally do it, and you should pay the money, and this, that, and the other, and this is included and that included. Oh, and then our wonderful Fear Factory SLC how to open during a pandemic packet with a value of $2,000. Not even making that up, just what James said. He all of a sudden put a value to this packet of $2,000 that literally they barfed all over the internet.
Yeah, I think it's in a PDF file too, so it's literally accessible anywhere.
Night, Keith. Hope we didn't bore you. Or too much cursing. So there is a huge issue with that, not just because of the level of obnoxiousness now that's happening with this gentleman and this haunt. It's a big haunt. It's a well-known haunt. They did not have to open. Once again, just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should. It literally, at this point, because of how obnoxious the interviews are getting, they did it literally as a publicity stunt, and it was exceptionally dangerous.
It was like the end of May, right? May 28th, I think.
Something like that. It was weeks after what's considered the halfway to Halloween.
AMS Haunted Attractions, by the way, they did it May 16th.
There you go. Yeah, Danny, yes, exactly. $2,000 of CDC info that you can see every day on your Facebook. Yeah. And that's pretty much what it was. I mean, it was tailored to haunted attraction, like as far as like, well, maybe you should douse down your clown costume or some such.
Yeah, so
but
clean shit, basically.
Yeah, clean your shit, wash your hands, take a temperature if you're coughing, GTFO. But it's just the level of obnoxiousness. And what's now happening is it's propagating a lackadaisical attitude with other haunted attractions. And that's dangerous. There was a haunted attraction that was mentioned, and they got a scathing review. Nightmare Dungeon in Greenville, South Carolina. They opened COVID safe and blah 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 blah, and we squirt sanitizer up our anuses and blah 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 whatever. And apparently everything they said they did for the customers' safety, and they didn't do, and they were ripped because of it. And it's basically this is how things start. This is how you have governmental agencies, local and everything else. They'll start seeing this kind of stuff. They'll get contact tracers will be like, holy crap, 10 people from this whatever haunted attraction, they got sick because of the haunted attraction. And then all of a sudden, that's when all hell breaks loose. That's when haunted attractions that were going to do everything within their power to keep people safe get shut down. That's when you have a sweeping control of this industry. And it will happen. And I will give you a quick story. Sorry, James, I don't mean to be yapping.
No, you're good. You're good.
If anybody wants to know how serious this is, I'm going to give you a really quick story. On May 11th, 1984, at Six Flags Great Adventure, and a thing, it was a haunted castle. 8 young people died from a fire. There are videos. There's a really great video, 5-part video on YouTube about it. It's 45 minutes long. It's so old that it's back when you can only put 10-minute videos on YouTube, and it's from a VHS tape. But yeah, Six Flags Great Adventure. They had a haunted attraction. I think it was called the Haunted Castle. And this was May 11th. And the short story is that it was a bunch of trailers that were put together as a walkthrough with literally no fire suppression, no nothing, no real good escape routes, nothing. And a fire started. It was actually one of the people that was in there. I believe they were playing with a. I think what they think happened was they were playing with a lighter. But what occurred was that it caught the whole thing on fire, and everything in there was the most combustible thing on the planet. There was no fire suppression. There was no real workers in there at the time. There was no way. Nobody knew how to get out because it was a bunch of smoke. Because of that particular incident, it changed fire rules for haunted attractions forever. In the early 90s, things were set in stone because there were two smaller incidents, but it only took one haunted attraction and their blatant stupidity and the deaths of 8 people to change how fire marshals and everything handled haunted attractions forever. And quite a few rules were put in place because of it. Like some of the rules, places that were haunted attractions had to close down because they couldn't afford it. I mean, you had to have fire suppression. It's a numerous amount of things. Like I said, if you go on Facebook, you look up Six Flags Great Adventure Castle Fire, you'll see the 5-part series. It's actually 45 minutes. It's really kind of cool. And the same thing applies here. It's like you have one haunted attraction that decided that they needed to be attention whores and come up with a bullshit plan to successfully, quote unquote, open up during a pandemic. And now, when you have these other haunted attractions that are going to try and follow suit, small ones that can't afford a lot of things. Now, Fear Factory did spend a lot of money. I mean, they did a lot of stuff. It's not like they didn't do it, but it was unnecessary. And so it's the same thing. You could have one haunted attraction, not saying it would be Fear Factory, but it could be that Nightmare Dungeon. There's another one. Sorry, I keep having to look at my notes. There's another one, and I'm mentioning them because you should all look them up and see how stupid these people are being. There's one called Sydney Haunted Woods in Sydney, Ohio. They made a post today, basically saying like if you basically like the whole pandemic's a hoax and this, that, and the other, and
like fuck it, let's go.
What?
That's their whole thing is just like fuck it, we'll be fine. There's no issues.
Yeah. Basically, are you afraid of the government? Are you afraid of a hoax? Or are you afraid of clowns? It's dangerous. It's dangerous. And it only takes one haunted attraction like that who gets bold enough to do this stuff. And maybe they saw that, Fear Factory SLC opened. Shit, we could do that. Since Fear Factory is trying to be this beacon of hope and all this crap, it only takes that kind of mentality to create a situation where haunted attractions could be forced to shut down. Because now you have a haunted attraction like this one. They're basically going like 99% of young people don't get it. They don't get it contracted. Blah, 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 blah. And it literally, you get enough people get sick there, and it will propagate throughout the United States. It'll go global. So that whole yippity yap story is, we are in dangerous times, especially for the haunted attraction industry, and especially because of attention whores. You have places like Halloween Horror Nights that finally decided, you know what, this is getting out of hand. Good for them. But when you get attention whores like that, unfortunately, it goes a little bit deeper, especially with the interview that Fearworm Advertising did. I should just let James talk some about that because he was paying a bit more attention.
Yeah, there's good and there's a lot of bad coming out of that whole interview that they did, and some of it's honestly just mind-boggling, like frustrating. Also, Reginald said that the guy was playing with the lighter and went to go light a cigarette, and he lit the phone behind him. That's what's speculated about what happened.
Oh, thank you, Reginald. Um, it's been a while since I watched that 45 that video the excuse me, the video. God, my brain is not working. It's a really good 45-minute video. It was done in, I think, 2003 or something, and it's amazingly I don't want to say entertaining, but it will mesmerize you. But welcome back, Jabby. Hey, Vic. Um, yeah, and unfortunately, a few days ago, Fearworm Advertising did an interview with Spencer and Alan Hops. Alan Hops, of course, everyone knows who Alan Hops is. Thank God he was mostly the voice of reason during the interview. The co-owners of Fearworm Advertising just completely blew my damn mind with
Some of the stuff was just like, no.
yeah, I'm like, wait a minute, you do this for a living? Okay, that's great. Um, yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the many things, like Mark said in comments, that one of the bits of misinformation, which is extremely dangerous, is black lights kill COVID. And so, if you have a haunt, maybe you should just add some more black lights, and that's not true. James did a little bit more information snagging from the last from Wednesday's live chat that black lights are UVA.
There is only a select few that are even UVB.
Right. And actually, what kills COVID is UVC. The sun emits UVC, but thankfully, our atmosphere blocks it, because if we got hit by UVC, like I said Wednesday night, it'll cook your meat down to the bone and burn your eyes. You can't be in the same room as UVC, and UVC is what kills COVID. Not UVA and not UVB. And literally, living things cannot be in a room with UVC because it really will screw you up. So thinking that a black light will help when it won't is bad information. But some of the things that Fearworm was saying is like, why don't you charge more? Now, Alan Hops, when he said it, and this is something that James alerted me to, that Alan Hops would say things that were extremely spot on and really, really well worded. And then between the co-owners of Fearworm and then Spencer, they would twist it straight to hell. Alan said that this would be a good year to bring the pricing of your tickets up, because that would help to lower the people coming into the haunt. Some people wouldn't be able to afford the extra money, and so that would be a good way to kind of crush down your numbers so you wouldn't have to worry with limiting them. That made perfect sense. And then, of course, that got twisted into, double the price. Blah, 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 blah. That's not price gouging. That's exactly what price gouging is. Doubling the price of something from one year to the next, especially when you're in an emergency situation, a pandemic. That's exactly what it is. And then Fearworm Advertising was like, yeah, you shouldn't mention how much you're cleaning and all the safety things you're doing for radio advertising or whatever else, but you can mention in your what the fuck kind of what I mean, what kind of advice is that? Literally, how fucking stupid could you be? Yes, you want to mention it. People want to know right now. People don't want to not hear it. We're in a pandemic. It's just, there was so many, and I know James has got a slew of things that because he took notes, but it's just the level of absolute absurdity today. Past several weeks, is insane. I mean, it's going to cause the haunted attraction industry to be stamped again with severe limiting factors that come from citywide, countywide, statewide, and then federal, because of just the amount of ludicrous information that's being literally diarrhea of the mouth from people that you wouldn't think. It's driving me to the wall.
It's like, so Alan brought up the point, it raises your price, and then you're gonna outprice some people, which whatever. But the point of him saying raise the price was you take that money that you're earning that's extra and you pay your actors more because you're putting them in more danger than they have been previously. So I love that idea, but then it became, well, instead of just giving them a raise, you just hold on to that money till the end of the year. So you'll hold on to these actors until the end of the haunt season instead of, just paying them more weekly. And I don't think you should hold on to the money as a bonus at the end, because if they can only work for 1 or 2 weeks, they're going to lose out on any extra money simply because they can't work. Or even, what if they do get sick? Then it's like, well, no, you didn't stay till the end. You're not getting the bonus. That to me is shitty. That's a shitty move.
Yeah. And it's actually shitty to suggest it. It's just one of the things that Fearworm was talking about, that they're not greedy, but I think they said capitalists. Well, no, that's the things that they were saying was pure greed. I guess if you run an advertising agency and there's haunts closing all over the damn place and you're losing out money, I guess you're going to do anything and say anything to get business. And that was absurd. There might be some people that work at the haunted attraction for extra income. There might be people that are doing it because they have no income. And now they're like, oh my God, please let so-and-so be open because I do make good money there. And yeah. And now you're telling them like, well, put yourself in a pretty bad situation. And as long as you don't miss a night, you'll get a bonus. Fuck you.
And yeah, exactly.
I literally I'm out. I would be.
And then that goes into their market share loss, which I understand that if you don't open, people will go find something else, because there are those people that don't believe, they don't care. Those people are going no matter what. They'll go to a place that has 0 guidelines in place and they don't care if you get sick, but they're going to go because they have to. These people are just so driven and don't believe anything that like they're going to do it anyway. So for that year, yeah, okay, you're going to lose a little bit, but they didn't mention any type of like brand loyalty. Just because you don't open one year doesn't mean that people will not come back to you. And that was one point that Alan's like, you might lose like at worst maybe a 30% market share loss for that year, but they're gonna come back because it's in their nature. People like Halloween Horror Nights doesn't open this year, they're gonna open next year. They're gonna get the same people going back no matter what. So to tell people like you need to be open or you're gonna lose business that to me is not smart. That's dangerous.
Well, yeah, and they literally, if you take what they said during that interview, that because Disney decided not to do Mickey's Not So Scary and Universal decided to not do Halloween Horror Nights, that they're just stupid. Oh, they're stupid. Nobody's going to go to them next year. I mean, how fucking stupid could you be? And then if you go local, let's say a city has 3 haunted attractions that are maybe 20, 25, 30 minutes apart from each other. Most people are going to go to every one of those. If they're within a good driving distance, they're going to hit all 3 of them in 1 year. If one of them decides not to open because, well, maybe they don't have the money to do the contingency plans or do the safety protocols initiated by the city or the county or state, but they keep everybody apprised of it, and they're like, well, we will be back next year, and they just keep. People aren't going to be like, well, you weren't open last year, so screw you. It was the most ludicrous shit from a supposed like professional advertising agency. It was ridiculous, especially for the haunted attraction industry. I mean, literally. Well, if you don't open, you're gonna fuck yourself. So that's and plus that's a really shitty thing to say for the haunted attractions that have made that decision already. So you're basically just going to retroactively say you're stupid for not opening. That was that just blew me away.
And I know it's about making money, but at the same time, as that business owner, you need to make the decision based off of not just the money, but also people's safety. And if you know that you can't do that, what are you doing? You're just money grabbing at that point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And like I said, maybe you have to make that decision because you cannot afford. I mean, you put money into the props and stuff. You're like, well, now I we don't have extra money to put towards sanitizers and infrared thermometers and all this other stuff. It was just such the whole hour and 45 minutes minus Alan Hops, because Alan Hops he
really grounded that whole thing.
Times. Yeah, and yes, James, that's a perfect. He grounded him on many points. Now he was the one that mentioned the black lights, but that's cool. I mean, not many people know the science behind ultraviolet, and that's fine. I'm sure if he was told that, he'd be like, "Oh shit, okay, my bad." But it was just it was four of them, the co-owners of two co-owners of Fearworm, and then Spencer, and then Alan Hops, and it was just so incredibly demeaning listening to their bullshit synopsises, and not Alan, but the three of them. And I've been following Fearworm for quite a bit. It seemed pretty awesome, but I will say personally for me, I have zero respect for them at this point. I would not suggest any haunted attraction even use them. Some of the big ones do because they are a marketing package and everything else. But the stuff that they said during that one interview, no, that's pretty much it. I'll follow them on Facebook just for the hell of it. Vic is totally taking Friday night into his own hands. That's great.
Yeah, well, it is Friday.
It is Friday. That's funny. So that was part of the reason why this was destined to be a rager Friday night. And 13, Alan Hops, he really is. I've met him twice very briefly. He was extremely kind to me. I don't think he would remember me from a Hill of Beans. But Alan Hops is exceptionally gifted, and he is extremely generous with the knowledge he puts out, with the advice he gives to people. He actually, while they were talking about halfway to Halloween, and Spencer was like, "Oh, we opened up and derp, derp." Fuck me. Anyway, while he was going off on his attention whore bullshittery, Alan made it well known, because Alan is part of Dark Hour. He said, we were supposed to open up twice, and we pretty much made the decision that it was not advantageous. It wasn't safe. And he actually even said himself, just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do a thing. And I was like, that's another bit of precious knowledge from Alan Hops, who is an extremely awesome dude. Like James said, perfectly said, he kept them grounded on a lot of points. Unfortunately, he would say things that the other three would just twist and turn into fucking goddamn Satan's belly button bullshit knowledge. Don't use that. I just made that up. It doesn't make any sense. But
and just like the literally air quoting the contingency plan thing, There are some decent nuggets of knowledge in there that can be found. And it was a great thing at the time, but what it has turned into is not so great, because now it's just a publicity like issue. Because there was some pretty cool stuff about like how you're gonna, interact with your local government, which I think any professional haunt is already doing this anyway, right? Like they're already in contact with their local government and finding out what they need to do every year. That's what I would assume if you're a business owner that has, that customers the way, like annually like that. You're gonna check in with your government anyway.
You, yeah, and I mean, if you're a big haunted attraction and you do things by the book, you have to submit your plans and everything else to the city, because you have to get construction permits if it's major. You are supposed to submit to the fire marshal, and of course allow them to come in and at any time. So there's a lot of things. If you're a big or medium sized haunted attraction, well, even if you're a small haunted attraction and you are a business and you're making money, you're supposed to do it too. But yeah, I mean, and especially now, if you are a legitimate tax paying business that's a haunted attraction, you should be morally, ethically, and logistically keeping up with everything that's going on, like I said, in your city, in your county, in your state. Are you only allowed 25%? Are you only allowed 50%? What can you do? What can't you do? What stations do you need? That's why Kevin on Kevin Moto.
Hey, where is he anyway?
From Creepy Hollow. He's here somewhere. He's around. They're doing everything that they know that Santa Rosa County and the state at this point is asking them to do. They're doing things to keep people as safe as they possibly can during a pandemic, and they're actors, and that's what they are. That's what they're doing. They're not going to say, oh, September whatever, we had a successful opening. Well, it is successful because people showed up, but they're not going to be attention whores and go like, hey, we didn't get Sasquatch sick when he came through our haunt because we're in the middle of the fucking woods. There's a modicum of decorum that business owners of any sort, management of any sort, should have right now when you're dealing with or dealing with the public, because we're in a pandemic. I'll say it again. It's real. It's not a hoax. For the folks that think the numbers are a hoax, literally, I'm gonna go ahead and say, go fuck yourself. I'm done with that too. I'm done with it. If you literally think numbers here and numbers there and blah 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 blah, you know what? Get your head out of the news's ass. For one, look at the scientists. Look at the scientists. Even if you don't like them, look at the scientists. This is a global pandemic. The United States is not alone in this. We're just the most stupid ass ones so far right now. And Florida's the most stupid ass of the United States. I'm in Florida. But you should be respectful to your customers because they're paying you money. You should not be an attention whore with your business. Don't think you're better than anybody else. Don't think that because you did a thing that you could and shouldn't have anyway, that makes you better. Calm your tits. Be sure your people are safe. Be sure you're safe. Be sure your customers are safe. If you cannot do that effectively without parading it around on your shoulders, then don't do it. Shut your doors. Shut your mouth. It's that easy.
And the other thing, transparency should be like the most important thing for you. If you're doing all of this stuff to clean, protect, sanitize, put up partitions, whatever the hell, why would you not want to tell every person about that and be like, look, this is what we're doing? I don't care if it's stupid from a marketing standpoint, because to me, if somebody's like, this is what we're going to do, and we're literally walking behind each person 6 feet from them, rubbing down every part of like the wall and the handrails and spraying shit and everything else. I want to know that, like, because then I'd be like, well, all right, well, thanks for going the extra steps. Why would you just do that in one fucking place? And
right, and
like,
go ahead.
this is not in any way directed at any haunt that plans to open, because we fully support you opening. It's people need to. There needs to be some openings, and it just has to be done right. Outdoor ones absolutely is a good example of it. Like, you can distance yourself out. It's more of being like, well, we're doing this stuff behind the scenes. You're not going to know about it. But these people want to know this information.
Right. And I don't think that it's like Fearworm said, I don't think that's bad advertising. You know, say it far and wide. If you do newspaper, if you do TV, if you do radio, whatever, you know, like I said, even at the end, and Alan even said this. Alan even said this. And he asked it as a question, and it's funny how he asked it because he was being kind of, to me, like obnoxious in a good way. It's like, you know, what do you think about doing it at the very end of an advertisement? And they just like they still's like, no, no, no. You know what? I don't care if you're giving every person that comes through there a sanitizer enema, and you think that's a good thing. Put it in your advertisement. You know, literally. Why would you not? Why would you not do it? What is the actual purpose of not doing it? Now, I will say that Fearworm said it's because you don't really want to hammer that in. You don't want to put that kind of stuff. You want to be the positive, and you want to like, oh, we're going to scare the bejesus out of you, and blah 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 blah. But at the same time, they're like, oh, but we're going to double the amount of money we're going to charge you, and we're not going to mention that we're doing any sanitizing. That is the stupidest shit, I swear to God, advertising I think I've ever heard. Like literally, unless you just put in your advertising and every person that comes through here, we're going to put a bullet in your head for real. That would be stupid. Oh, and Reginald, you had a question real quick. The haunted houses that make you sign a waiver to where the actors can touch you. I guarantee you that the touchy thing won't happen. I will say, on behalf of Kevin at Creepy Hollow, they have disengaged that this year because it would be unwise. And they're doing the right thing. They know, well, no, we don't want to touch you. You may have something, and we may have something. There's no touchy feely. So, if you come across a haunted attraction, Reginald, that says they're going to do that this year, you let me know. You send me a message, and I'll be sure to put it out there. This haunted attraction is stupid as fuck. um. So, yes,
Yeah, hands off this year for sure. No
hands off.
hands.
Yeah, no dangly things, no airbag walls. A lot of haunted attractions are shifting away from that. Even Alan during the interview said, "Yeah, all that." Like I said, Alan Hops was the voice of reason. He was grounding those folks, but Fearworm, I whatever. I'm fucking over it. I'm over that stupidity. Um, you see what your mom said?
Yes.
But yeah, shout it far and wide.
This shit's exhausting.
I'm thoroughly exhausted from it. I'm going to take some Tylenol after we're done, and I'm just going to pass out because today has just been a whirlwind of bad news, sad news, predictable news, and literally I waited until today to listen to the hour and 45 minutes, and because I knew if I had done it a few days ago, I'd be fuming for days. So I did it today so I could just barf out all my rage for all of you. So yeah, if this live stream or podcast, whatever, if it gets to the Fairworm people and Spencer whatnot, fuck ever, I don't really give a shit. If you listen to the whole thing, you're wrong. Stop being an attention whore. Stop giving out really stupid shit advertising suggestions because that's stupid. Stop trying to force people to price gouge their haunted attractions. I can see bringing it up a little bit, and like Alan said, excuse me, put that away for your actors. Make that their hazard pay. But squeeze bags are disgusting.
Absolutely.
13 during a pandemic or whatever. I don't even want to say even on a Friday night what I call them, but yeah, stop giving out stupid ass information. And that goes for Fearworm, and that goes for Spencer, whatever your last name is, at Fear Factory SLC. I can't believe I didn't know that's what SLC stood for. That's sad. I thought it was like, God, okay, LLC? No, SL, I don't know. So stop giving out bullshit information. If you don't like it, let me know. I'm not going to give you any airtime. I'm not. I think Fear, whatever fuck, and Spencer have had plenty. You can be an attention whore somewhere else. I'm over it. I'm done with it. Your stupid 2,000 bullshit dollar contingency plan of successfully opening a fucking haunted attraction for 3 hours on one night, whoop-de fucking do when you shouldn't have. And then Fearworm, dudes, literally stop. Whatever. Stop.
Yeah,
I know
I don't know what the hell happened there. It seems like it fell off.
No, go ahead.
No,
What happened?
I'm just
Wait,
agreeing, man. Like, I never like I just recently started following him, and like it was good stuff, but it seems like the last couple things there's just been so much information that just is not right from a safety standpoint. Like, I just disagree wholeheartedly with it, and that might be everybody else is like, yeah, we think you're stupid because you're saying what they're saying is stupid. I don't fucking care. Because my opinion is based on my own like scientific background and like thinking logically about stuff. It isn't based off of we need to make money, these places need to be open. I guess because I look at it from a scientific standpoint and not a monetary standpoint, I'm going to be at odds with them.
Yeah. 13 Skeleton says last name's Terry. Thanks. Thanks, 13. Vic says he's got some good advice if anyone wants to listen to. Vic, you've got some awesome advice, dude. That's what we love having you on here and promote your channel. And we can't show your videos on live stream because we all get really just sidetracked with them because it's so awesome. So that was the Ragey McRager version of After Dark. James and I, we've talked several times. For those, excuse me, for those folks that know that in the beginning we were going to try to stay upbeat, which we still are upbeat. We weren't going to name names. This has become very serious. It's over the course of the past couple of months and weeks. Honestly,
it's been building.
It's been building tremendously, exponentially, ludicrously, and dangerously. And the whole aspect of like, well, we don't want anybody to blah, blah, blah and be upset. Well, no, you know what? Tough shit. The voice of reason needs to come out from somewhere. We're not saying we're perfect by any means, but I think that we come from some pretty straightforward logic. James and I are not stupid people. I think we're both highly intelligent. And we can think beyond the money part. We know that these businesses open to make money. We know that if they can't hire people, those people will not make money. That's highly understandable. Going back to Halloween Horror Nights, it's highly understandable. There's people that like, oh my God, they make some good money working for, close to 2 months, whatever. But don't be an attention whore going all over the internet with it. Stop promoting your haunted attraction, Fear Factory SLC, as successfully opening one and only, when now James has pointed out there was one before you that opened up and actually had more nights than you did. neither one of you can tell me from contact tracing that people didn't get sick. You can't. Now it's too far away from it to know. So shut the fuck up about it.
And this is based off of science, not politics. None of that bullshit. This is just us being intelligent people, and we're not. It's not even the popular scientists that we look at stuff. We actually look at scientific journals and reports and everything else that they're not releasing to just like the news stations. This is stuff that we go and find on our own, and it's not information that has been fluffed up. This is actual stuff.
Zach wants to call in. Maybe, I don't know, Zach. We might still out talk you. And the thing is too is we look at global. So when James says literally, this is not politically driven, what we say. Nothing. It's not. It's not. This is on a humanitarian basis. Once again, I don't look at the news. I pay no attention to no news. I don't care what news it is. I don't watch it. I don't. I have my list of places that I get my stuff from, and I go and check it all the time. James has shared some that he's found with me, and vice versa. We're speaking completely and utterly humanitarian. Watching the numbers, and everything else. So just to be sure, and Vic, you're right. When it comes down, you need to use your judgment and common sense to be safe. Humans are fairly good at that, unless you tell them to do a thing. Normally, the ancient part of their brains, the fight or flight response, is really good at that. It's one of the basic necessities. Until you apparently start telling people what they should do to be safe, and then all of a sudden, all hell's going to break loose, and Karen and Kyle are going to start shooting people up at Target. So that's really it. And like I said, James and I, really, it's just calling people out on this bullshit.
And it's not even to be malicious about it. It's just like, this shit needs to be said. And they're the ones that initially started saying this. And there comes a point where you have to name names.
Yes. And nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is doing it because everyone is coming in and like oohing and awing over the contingency plan and this and that. And oh my God, let me put a spotlight on. The only reason why I say attention whore is because that's what it is. I'm probably being a little bit mean and rude, but if you start watching all these damn interviews, it's exactly what it is. If this person would come on and be humble and say, okay, we spent time and we did this and we wanted to test it out. We wanted to be a ray of hope and all that stuff. And it's not. It's being an attention whore. It's a marketing ploy. That's all it is. And all it is common sense and CDC stuff that's been manipulated for haunted attraction. It's common sense stuff. Anybody could do this if you know what's going down.
And we have no skin in this game, like financially, as far as owning a haunt, because we don't. We have no affiliation with any haunt. That should be like, well, I mean, I get it. We're not coming from, they're not competition of ours. Kevin just knocked. You let him in.
Okay. And Mark, you're right. You in your pandemic adventures, it can be done. As far as I know, you're not sick, which is good.
And you were safe the whole time.
And you were safe, but they didn't count themselves as being a successfully opened haunt and bippity boppity fucking boo. It's just the attention whore thing is dangerous. Is Kevin with us? I can hear something.
Yeah, he's here.
I want to be an attention whore.
Well, I can be an attention whore too, but not during a pandemic. Hey, happy birthday! You're not late. We were going to talk until the cows came home and just knew you were coming by. Everybody want to say happy birthday, late birthday to Kevin Extraordinaire here.
Yeah, happy birthday, man.
Ate at Rodizio's. I'm fucking miserable. I'm so full. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and die.
I don't know why I thought Rodizio was closed.
Happy birthday!
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The way they set it up was really fucking weird, especially for a party of 13 or so. You know how they come around and they cut the meat off for you, right?
Yeah.
Well, they only do it at one edge of the table for a party that big. They slap it all on one plate, and then they have you just pass it down. And you got to put your mask on to go up to the buffet, which is understandable. But like they got like the little sides and salads and shit. But then they come over and they cut that shit, and then you're just passing it down the table.
Well, like I hadn't been in a couple of years. I thought they were closed. 13 Skeleton says happy birthday. I will give you my quick story. The first time I went to Rodizio, I had no idea what was going on. And of course, on my right side, I have no peripheral vision. And that some bitch came at me with 300 pounds of meat. And I turned around and I was like, holy fuck.
And then you got excited.
And then I got excited. I was like, he whipped out a big old knife. And I'm like, oh shit, what the hell's this? What the hell is this? Somebody just walked up with half a cow 2 feet away from me.
Did you turn around and ask him for a turkey leg instead?
Oh God! If he had a turkey, I'd have shoved that up his ass if he came out with a turkey leg. That's all right. But so have you been listening for very long? Have you been kind of just?
Yeah, I was listening about SLC and whatnot. I was kind of listening in on that while I was taking care of some stuff. But I mean, hell, I'll go ahead and agree. You already know why I'm here.
Yeah. I gave James a quick lowdown right before he came on. About the mysterious L word. But Lunchbox. But I'll go ahead.
We'll go with Lunchbox.
Lunchbox. So now we got Kevin on here, but folks, that was that particular rage version of that. Like I said, Haunters Anonymous, our focus really solely is on the home haunter this year, because they need a voice, and we think that we are situated easily to do that. We still chitty chat with and all that stuff with the haunted attractions. We keep up with all of it. I myself am thoroughly entrenched with it. It's just time that some of the stupidity and the attention whoreness and everything else gets put out to light. It's dangerous. So that's basically it. I'm just gonna pass the mic over to Kevin, man. I'll tell you what, you think I've been funny tonight. Let's hear Kevin.
Oh man, you want to talk about some attention whoreness?
Yeah, go.
Oh
for
boy.
it.
Well, I talked to you about Tyler, which he's setting up for Rock Band, so he's not gonna be able to make it in here tonight. But man, the attention whoreness, prime example of Transworld closing, vendors, and it's very unfortunate. A lot of vendors had to close up their business, some temporarily, some for good, completely. And it was kind of heartbreaking. And I even knew of some vendors that paid to freight all their shit in. And, freight, if you've ever freighted anything, it's not cheap. Yeah. And so, of course, they get everything there, and now they can't afford to freight it back because, well, nobody expected Transworld to cancel. So I even know of a couple smaller companies that didn't have trailers or whatever, they chose to freight and up and decide that, well, I either have to drive and go get my shit or just leave it. So it was kind of sad to hear some of those things. And then magically there's a GoFundMe that appears. Donate to the vendors. I'm doing this to split amongst all the vendors of Trans World. But I'm not going to donate to it. By the way, here's a bullshit DVD of how to get rich haunting with pretty much all the same information you can find online. So, man, oh man, that, and I know you saw that explosion occur in Haunters Hangout and other groups, and everyone's like, you this is a joke, right? You're fucking kidding me. So it was funny as shit to me. And then the one thing that I noticed and several other people noticed, and you know how it is, the only way that you feel that your voice is actually heard in the haunt industry is if you see yourself as an elitist with elitist money. So if you have a multi-million-dollar budget, you feel your voice is 10 times bigger than it really is. And unfortunately, there are some that follow that voice for the sheer fact of you got money. But then you take a look at the actual face of the haunt industry, the mid-level haunts, you know, Creepy Hollow, prime example. We're a mid-level haunt. We don't have a multi-million-dollar budget. We have an increasing budget, and we donate every year. You know, we're slowly but surely building a bigger budget, the best that we can, and a lot of it's still out of pocket. A lot of it's still passion driven, which that's what, and in my personal opinion, that's what haunting's been all about for me my whole fucking life. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't still be here. It's that simple. And I know a lot of haunters that feel the same way, but it comes down to, oh, well, you don't have a $2.7 million budget for your haunt. What the hell do you know? Well, hate to tell you, a lot of us mid-level guys know a hell of a lot more than some of these elitists that think they got big dick swinging syndrome. And it gets fucking annoying to any mid-level haunter that's like, hey, and people will accept information, but as soon as someone comes out with a slightly opposing view, it's, oh, they got millions of dollars, listen to them, fuck these guys. And then I get to sit back and watch shit blow up in their face, which makes me happy, honestly.
Yep.
You know, the classic told you so syndrome.
I've been full of that one today, man.
Yeah.
Lord.
And that's one thing that me and Tyler both heavily agree on is the fact of a lot. There's some very level-headed and some very great elitists that still have some passion for the industry. But there's some of them out there that feel that they are the voice of the industry, the voice of, the singular one voice of the entire haunt industry. And that's what fucking pisses a lot of people off is, I'm sorry, who are you? You're kind of a fucking idiot. You're not making any fucking sense, especially when you'll see Lunchbox. You'll see Lunchbox go after mid-level haunt owners having an intelligent argument against something he's saying. Well, you have no fucking clue what you're talking about. I pull in millions. What do you know? Really? I mean, fuck. Give me the money and I'll pull in fucking millions, putting a big ass haunt in a fucking big ass city too.
Yeah, how much are you spending to make those?
It's not that fucking hard if you are handed money to do so. I'm just saying. Right. Not all of us have had that opportunity. Some of us are building from the ground up. I'm sure you know Dwayne over the 13th Gate, right?
Yeah.
So you know his story. He'd been doing this shit since he was young, like 13. Sold his first haunt for, I think it was like $2 million or something like that. And then ultimately used that to open up, I think, one more haunt and then the 13th Gate. So he's been building up for a long, long time to be successful. He's one of those people that I really like to look at and say, this motherfucker did it right. Learned a ton of lessons along the way, made a lot of smart connections along the way. And then there's assholes that just want to talk to hear themselves talk.
Yes, there is.
I'd probably be a lot more energetic and this is going to sound terrible, if I didn't have like 7 pounds of meat in me.
I was actually going to get ready to say you probably got a lot of Rodizio going in.
Oh, dude, I'm fucking dying right now. Like, I walked in the door and I was like, can I just puke and die now? Please.
Well, when you have never-ending, free-flowing sliced meat you can't really say no.
Oh, and then Han owner shows up down there. Shane shows up, says, "Oh, hey, check it out. We got some silicone wristbands for the haunt. I got silicone wristbands for Moto." He ordered. He wanted to get some for the haunt to pass out promotion wise and whatnot. And he brings them up to me. He's all excited to have them. I'm like, "Oh boy, I've only ordered about 3,000 of these. Good job, champ." But he hands them to me, and I'm like, "Okay, cool. They look good." Inside of the band, this was his little jab. Haunt lives matter.
Lord.
on the inside of the fucking wristband. So that's a good chuckle. We were sitting there when he ordered them, and I didn't think he was seriously putting it in. He's like, "I'm gonna put this shit in there." I'm like, "Oh, yay!" He fucking did it. So he's all excited to give me a wristband and then make fun of me for spending his money, as he puts it.
There's some weird ass comments going on here. Not John Wayne died with 5 pounds of undigested red meat in his system. Oh my God. So he's just basically telling you don't die on this moto on live stream.
I just might.
I might, just from being exhausted from Volturi today. Now Vic said, and it's true, I haven't even opened a haunt. This would have been my first year, although it seems like a great community for everyone to be excellent to each other. But I've seen a lot of these big folks treat little guys like second-class citizens. And that's true. And that's exactly what Kevin was talking about. You've got some people that are big in the haunt industry that are just as kind and would sit down with you for hours, kind of like Alan Hops, and just share everything they know. Some of them basically are like, "Who the fuck are you?" and "Get away from me." And you're never going to amount to anything because you're not me. And it's true.
I hate that elitist bullshit, man.
Yeah. That's why I'm just going to start calling people out. If you're an attention whore and you just don't need to be, then that's it. So,
I mean, the biggest one that that I've already been speaking of has just been after one person after another, and it's just it's the pleasure that this person gets from posting all over his own bullshit. "Oh, look at this shit! Look, fuck this person." Really? To the point where even people all over the industry are being like, "Are you fucking kidding me? You just get pleasure out of watching this go public. That's all you get." And the only people who actually support it are other elitist mindsets.
Yeah. And by the way, Mark, the only reason why I said lunchbox is just because of the first letter L. That was it. Lunchbox doesn't pertain to anything. Yeah, I actually, Kevin, I when you after you and I talked, I went back to January with that person's posts on his Facebook page and just read every single thing, and I was just like, the level of hypocrisy and everything else that I know you're aware of. I was just including that GoFundMe. I was like, it's really sad. It's really sad to be so full of yourself.
Well, the one thing I mentioned the other day was just watch and wait. Eventually, when some of these elitists get shut down for the year due to their local government or whatever, it'll be insanely unfortunate. Nobody wants to see that happen. Let me put that out front. Nobody wants to see anyone get shut down. But as soon as some of these elitists do get shut down and it's out of their control, no matter how tight and phenomenal their contingency plan or anything might be, these people will start shaming haunts that do open, saying more or less, "If I can't open, you can't open. Why are you allowed to open? It's a shame on you for being open, even though I was forced to close. And I was gonna open, but I was forced to close, but shame on you for opening." Watch. It's already started.
Oh yeah. No, we talked about it. Yeah, I mean and that's sad. And that's sad. and it's gonna get it's gonna get worse as we get closer to the season. It's gonna get worse. And yes, Jabby, that is Moto. Yeah, I just I don't. What the hell? If the voice and the vape don't give it away, then you're just not a real clown, are you, Jabby?
No shit.
Yeah, I was. I'm actually speechless about some of the stuff that I've seen this past week, and then going through, that cat's Facebook page and just how obnoxious, and then having to listen to an hour and 45 minutes with Fearworm and Spencer, fuck ever. But thankfully, Alan Hopp saved the day. It's always a pleasure listening to him. But I see, I'm just speechless. I don't understand. The haunted attraction industry is supposed to. In itself is an elite group, and I don't say that in a bad way. I mean, it's one of those industries that are extremely unique because of what they do and the entertainment that they provide on a very limited amount of time during the year. And the layperson doesn't know that it's literally a labor of love all year round. There's no reason for any infighting or the drama or the cat fighting or the elitist bullshit. None of that stuff. There's no room for it. There's no reason for it. It's supposed to be one tight-knit group helping each other, and it's, especially this year, it's turning into a shit show. Not everybody, but there's people that are turning it into a shit show. And I think you're right. I think they are going to get their comeuppance with it. I think they're really going to slit their own throats this year.
Well, a lot of people are starting to push back on them and say, you're being a fucking idiot. You're being a dickhead for no fucking reason. And, as you said, it's becoming a shit show, and the call-out culture is getting absolutely fucking insane. I actually made a post not too long ago on my page about haunters calling out other haunters for saying, quote unquote, racist things that weren't actually racist. It was just literally to put it out there and start shit. And I was just like, man, whatever happened to this term haunt family? Haunt fam. Everyone likes to say it until it's time to show it.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's the part that was really annoying me, was since I was young, everywhere you go, you can pretty much run into a haunter. It is such a massive yet small family. Everywhere you go, you got some form of a family member near you, a haunt family member around you, and you won't even know it. But odds are there's one there, because we're all kind of slightly fucked up individuals, and we don't exactly go out blaring that we design people's nightmares at all times. But you see these people that are out, and this is the fucking egos that are actors who think that they are 10 times bigger than they are and think they carry such a massive voice, running their mouths about this shit, calling people out over nothing. And then the funniest part was, I'll go ahead and say it, there's haunts that want nothing to do. There's haunts all over the South that want literally nothing to do with a couple of these individuals, who will also come out and say, I think I'm going to take a break this year. I'm just not feeling it this year. Well, in all reality, we all know the truth. Those of us who do know the truth. Nobody in the South will fucking hire you. You call out actors over nothing because you had a disagreement with them. What business owner in their right mind would hire you to work at their attraction? Ever. You have a disagreement, now you're trashing a business. So the fact is, the only two haunts that will ever fuck with you, are shut down for the year. They've already announced it. You have nowhere else to go. Nobody fucking wants you. You've already worn out your welcome everywhere. And that's just with a lot of these actors that feel they have some huge voice and think that they carry such a huge fucking stick that they swing it and everyone obeys. And that ain't how it fucking works, because a lot of us are independent thinkers. I'm an independent thinker. I don't post out what I believe. I've been a firm believer a long time that politics stay away from the haunt. All that, your politics, your personal beliefs, all that stuff stays far away from the haunt, because you have such a diverse group of people working at a haunted attraction. You're gonna have disagreements. So you can either be an adult and accept those disagreements, or not. You can be a little bitch and throw fits about it. Make a choice.
That's we won't even we will not tolerate politics. Like once it starts, we shut the shit down.
Yeah, because it's like you said, Kevin. It's everybody's got different opinions and everything else, and it's just there's a time and a place, and we all know, especially this particular year, with what's going on. It people get riled up enough they'll put a bullet in your head for nothing. So it's dangerous. So I agree. There's a time and a place. Mark, what names do you want?
I didn't even see where he said that.
He says name names, damn it. And I'm like, you're not going to know any of these people Kevin's talking about. They just Jesus.
He's such a shit stir.
They're just actors.
He's always going to kick the hornet's nest.
Yeah, Mark's a shit stir, but we love him. And of course, Kevin, of course, the big news was Halloween Horror Nights not happening this year.
Yep.
So, God, that is gonna to me have a ripple effect in the haunted attraction industry as a whole. Because when Mickey's Not So Scary announced, you could kind of feel the vibrations in the industry, and now with Horror Nights canceling, it's gonna be a hoot.
Well, I mean, the ultimate reality is a lot of those, yes, they have the budget to literally get away with, whatever. They could have a fucking radiation cloud over top of Disney and have the money to cover it with a fucking bubble to stay open. But the thing becomes, a lot of us, example, me, mid-level haunt, outdoors, not as many people, that's just one of the perks that I have is I'm not putting through thousands and thousands of people a day. I'll break 1,000 in a night, but I'm not putting through fucking 8,000 people, 10,000, 20,000 people through Halloween Horror Nights in a night. So I guess that's, kind of being lucky by having a mid-level haunt and not being a high level haunt or Halloween Horror Nights or Scream Park or something like that. So I think a lot of mid-level haunts, we're going to do our best to stay open because most of us most haunts can't afford to not open this year. There's a lot of owners that I know that have sunk their last dollar into this year praying to God that they open. And if they don't open, they might not have a building next year. They can't pay their lease, or, they can't afford to bring it up next year. I'm sure they'll find a way. Everyone finds a way. It doesn't take that much to turn some fucking power for some 12-volt power on, right? But, it's just going to be one of those things of who wants it the most this year? Who wants to just sit back and say, you know what? I'm not even going to bother trying, or who's going to actually go out and fight?
Yeah, I think the mid-level haunts really are the ones that are getting totally fucked over by this, because they're the ones that, like you said, you can't afford. You have too much overhead to not open. Whereas like the smaller ones, yeah, all right, they can manage it. It's not a huge, chunk of their, profits going out the window there. But for you guys, it's like you're just kind of stuck in that. Don't have the millions and millions to bankroll it, but you have so much overhead that it's like you have to figure out a way to make it work.
But you know what? If you're industrious, like I know Creepy Hollow is, you can keep some of your costs down and still bring the money in. I know y'all rely quite a bit on word of mouth. It works very well on social media and all that stuff. But I also know y'all have enough sense to tell folks that y'all are doing as much as you can to keep them safe, unlike Fearworm, who would tell you not to do that. But
man, we got so much signage that I have written down right now. I'll be going down to Pensacola Sign Shop probably in the next week, and it's going to be an expensive day, and that really sucks because that's money that we could put towards materials. That's money we could put towards newer lighting, more advanced techniques and stuff like that. But it's got to go towards this signage because, as we discussed last week or just a couple days ago, customers are children, and we have to do what we can to keep everything running as smoothly as we can to show that we are doing everything in our power to be within the regulations set. Whether the customers follow it or not, hey, we can't control that all the time.
yeah, and of course, you already know you're going to have issues with some folks. And, it's going to be.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, like literally, like, well, we're just going to have to kick you out now.
Yeah.
But that's to be expected. Of course, that happens every year with a haunted attraction anyway. But this one's a little bit different. But I personally believe in tasers. That's just me. That's just me.
Pull your mask up. Tase them.
Yeah. Little taser, little clown magic.
It's funny. We're trying to incorporate blank pistols into our attraction this year for a very theatrical portion, and I'm like, man, I got them in just 2 days ago. Got them in, and we ordered the 8mm extra loud shots, thinking, oh, it's a blank and won't be quite as loud. Let's get the extra loud shots. Man, we popped off a few of those and said, yeah, let's go ahead and order some regular shots. This is going to deafen some fucking people. That son of a bitch was loud. So I'm like, it might not be the best year to include that. People are already going to be high strung.
Total off cuff. Do you also have problems with that neighbor close to you?
Oh, so everything was sorted out there. The biggest issue about that one was how close to Christmas we were running the event, because we did the what was it that year? It was like the 21st through the 23rd, 24th, 25th was off, 26th, 27th, 28th. So it was how close to Christmas we were, and apparently it was that there was family in town and younger children trying to figure out why the hell there were screams coming from the woods out in Jay, Florida. So that was apparently the bigger issue, which we actually didn't find that out until a little later. But like last year when we ran our Christmas event, this neighbor that gave us all these issues, she was there hanging out. She was sitting around the fire and enjoying. So cool. It was simply an issue of timing. And I wouldn't say it was a big misunderstanding, but it was definitely a misunderstanding. And it was just kind of shitty timing. It was just bound to happen, I guess. But yeah, it was one of those things of, well, I guess we're sorry. And now she comes over and hangs out.
That's pretty cool. Are y'all, God, did I ask this? Are y'all doing Krampus this year?
As of right now, yes. Especially if we don't get to open for haunt season. Hell yes. Along with, I've already planned a couple of other events in the case that we might not get to open, just in case. So I have kind of a backup to a backup to a backup plan to where we will actually get some nights in this year to somewhat refill the budget if worse comes to worse and we don't get to open due to COVID. So as of right now, yes, we are looking at Krampus dates. I haven't figured out the exact dates. I got to sit down with the owner on that one. We're still finalizing a couple of our days for the haunt season because we're doing a couple of Sundays mixed in with some of those Thursdays. We introduced the kid-friendly night last year. Kids got to shine a flashlight at the monster. If they were scared, monster got scared and ran away from the light, right? So that worked out pretty well for us. A lot of first-time haunted house attendees, kids as young as 3 years old. Everything's super tame. It was a good time. We turned it up for the adults that showed up by accident, but a lot of them didn't make it all the way through. Now, Sundays, remember how we used to try to push the industry nights?
Yeah.
That's the purpose of these Sundays. Industry nights kind of fell off the map. We tried, and it just wasn't doing much. So instead of trying to organize an industry night for all the haunts locally, we're just going to say screw it. We're going to open on a couple of Sundays specifically so other haunts in the area can come out and check us out, and as well as the people who do work in like the food service industry and whatnot, entertainment industry, so they can make their way out there and check us out. So we're going to open up 2 days for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you're gonna have a haunt industry night, so it'll probably be like the rest of the entertainment industry.
Yeah. We didn't want to give up on the haunt industry night because we thoroughly believe all haunters should get an opportunity to see a haunt running, whether it's fully staffed or not. Get an opportunity to go out, check out something different, have a good time. And as most haunts in the industry, we don't charge other haunters to go through. You show up, especially if you contact us sooner. You're a haunter, cool. Come up, let us know. And if they contact us sooner, I put their names at the front, how many of them are with them, and haunters will be treated like family. That's how it should be. So I just don't think this area is quite big enough. And then the other thing was, when we opened up for haunters, we'd only have like 2 or 3 show up. And I got 40, 50 actors back there, and I'd have 40, 50 people show up for the night because we opened up on a Tuesday. So it's one of those things of, yeah, it's costing us $150 to feed these guys tonight. We might make that back, maybe.
Well, I tried to get as many people as when I was doing my bit, but a bunch of losers.
Well, the biggest issue with us is look at where we're at, man. We're fucking forever away from Pensacola.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's kind of advantageous for y'all because it gives you have a really big area to play with. So, totally before I forget, I don't know what the hell made me think about this. I know we went off on the rage tangent, which is good because it's calming my ass down. Did you ever get your Gantum torches up and running?
I don't want to fucking talk about those pieces of shit. So I don't want to fucking talk about them. You know how that whole fucking mess went down with Gantum. Pulled them off the shelves, and now you got to do a ridiculous order, and they got to come out and set them up because apparently no one else is smart enough to figure out to put a fucking sensor at a flashlight height. It's not the fact that they're pieces of shit and don't fucking work. It's the fact of, hey, you're just not smart enough to install it. Bullshit. But whatever. Now,
go ahead.
My big thing. So Gantum also makes the flicker modules for LEDs, for fluorescent bulbs. All that fun stuff. They have a little module for that. $110 module, and of course, and I started hearing about it. I knew it existed. So I started digging, and I happened to pick up Effects to Go DVD. Jake Farmer he works with Alan over there at Dark Hour. He put out a DVD. We ordered a prop from him, a Snake Strike, and I was like, oh, cool, his DVD's on sale too. I'll just fucking take it. Why not? And he's talking about it. It's from Gantum. I'm like, son of a bitch. It's from fucking Gantum. That alone makes me not want to buy it. Well, and...
Two things with that though, actually, and I can talk to you whenever about this, but one, you actually need to get stuff like that from Lights Alive. They're much better and it's cheaper.
That I appreciate.
Yeah, Lights Alive. If you haven't heard from them, matter of fact, I've got one of their modules here, which is cool as fuck. But also, you can get things like that if you know how to find them on eBay for nothing. But
we found several. They were $40, and now you can't find them again.
Nah. I find them cheaper for you. I find cheaper for you. I'd be your little bitch. I find them cheaper. But have you heard of Lights Alive before?
Well, as you're talking about it, I'm literally sitting here on the website.
Yeah, no. The people that run Lights Alive, they're extremely nice, and everything they do is custom made.
as far as they, let's say that they don't absorb other people's ideas for what they do. Like their stuff, they design it. They have the boards, I think, made in China, and then they assemble them here. But no, they've got cool ass stuff, like the Firefly and stuff like that. Eh, That's the kind of stuff you need to go for because one, um, it lasts longer, it's cheaper, uh, and it's not Gantom. The other thing I was going to tell you too is while we're talking about is, if the torches literally are just having issues, um, if you ever wanted to just bring me everything, I'll take a look at it because I mean I do electronics. I probably could get them working correctly for you, but that's if you want to. But you should totally look at Lights Alive for that kind of stuff, and then I'll send you some stuff. Um, I'll send you some electronics information, but we'll talk about that.
Yeah, I mean the Gantom system we paid about $5,000 for. Um, the issue became we were having to either go back and swap out flashlights or send people through again almost 70% of the time, after adjusting everything so many times. The sensors were not picking up like they were supposed to pick up to change the lights. And then if it skips 2 sensors or something, it just shut the light off. It didn't just turn it to a regular light. No, that would make sense. It just shuts it the fuck off.
Yeah, that's why they don't sell them anymore. There's a guy, there's a guy in town that's trying. I don't know if he's still trying to sell it, but he's trying to sell the Gantom zombie package thingamajiggy. Not that I'm saying you should
The
buy
laser,
it.
are you talking about the laser tag zombie thing?
Yeah, Z-Tag, the Z-Tag, it's like a complete. I don't quite understand
Oh,
how
the
he.
Z tag. Yeah, we already have over 400 tags for that too. We just haven't
Oh,
used them
that's
for
right.
anything yet.
That's right. That's right. I forgot you told me that. Well, you definitely need to. Actually, this would probably be a good year to use them for some sort of social distancing. But the torches, if you ever decide that you want to get them fixed, let me know. Um, but yeah, as far as flickery type technologies and really cool, Lights Alive is who I'd recommend. So now everybody knows.
I'm already looking through it.
Oh, you'll like it. You'll like their prices and the customability yummy out of it.
Customization.
Yeah, sorry. I'm glad somebody could think of that word because I've literally used all my brain power today.
And raging.
And oh god, James, dude.
we had some good conversations earlier.
I'm just I'm literally like when we cut off stream, which probably will be fairly soon because we'll be hitting the 2 hour mark. I'm gonna pop 2 Tylenol and I'm gonna knock myself out. Hopefully my brain will reset tomorrow. But yeah, it's in general it's sad some of the backstabbing and other things in the haunted attraction industry are happening right now. Yes, Mark. HHN takes a lot of brain power when you're having to sit there and God, make fun of it all day, which is what I was doing. But it's very sad that in a year that's been rough across the board, and everywhere from vendors, actors, owners, you name it, and all the little bits in between, you would think that there would be a lot more camaraderie, and there's not. It's actually, I think, the worst I've ever seen it in many years. But it's kind of been increasingly getting worse with, like you've talked about, a couple of people and this, that, and the other. It's just, I don't know. It seems to be very disheveled this year.
It's saddening.
Yep, very saddening.
Because to me, this isn't the industry that I grew to love from a younger age. And there's always been haunt drama, haunt issues. all around the industry, but never to this scale, because you're always going to have issues. There's always going to be arguments. There's always going to be disagreements somewhere, and that's just business. That's just how things go. But when you're seeing actors attacking other actors, it got fucking old real quick to me.
Yeah.
When these people are the ones that are looked up to in the industry. You know, I don't like to toot my own horn, but yeah, I do have a lot of younger actors, and I have new actors that look up to me, and they see me as an example. So what am I not doing? I'm not even out calling these people fucking idiots in the public on their own shit. I'll have an educated debate, and if they go into name calling, this, that, this, I'll be the first one to be like, cool, so we're going to be children today, rock the fuck on, and I just won't say anything else. But you know, I just attack the ego at that point. That's my whole point, is I just attack the ego until I have them rocking in a corner fucking crying. I ain't got a problem doing it. But I hate watching these people that are supposed to be examples of the industry, traveling actors that these other new actors look up to. I want to be something like this one day, being a fucking douchebag to the point where nobody wants to hire them.
Yeah.
And it's honestly, it's disheartening, and it's saddening. And then they see owners going back and forth the way they go back and forth sometimes. That alone is saddening. It's fucking pathetic. You know, I've seen it with Haunts up north, Haunts down south, Haunts in the Midwest. And you just see owners going at each other's throats. And I'm like, really? And I thought the online fucking clown drama was like high school. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. I hope in the next couple of months things smooth out. You know, I really do, as far as all that. But
next couple months, I foresee a lot of people saying, what the hell have we been doing? What are we arguing about? I'm telling you, it's all going to end in mid-November. Just saying. I'm not getting political. A lot of this bullshit's going to end in mid-November.
Yeah.
And you know exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. You know. Oh, geez. God. Now, with my thing is, like, in about a week, Horror Nights will say, no, we're actually going to open, and I'm going to go postal. It's just going to freak me out. I'm kidding.
I honestly don't think someone so big will ever turn around and be like, just kidding, fuckers. You know?
No, oh no. Yeah, no, that's it. They're done. That's it for the year. Like at the beginning of all this, James and I said, that's once we did our thing, that's our last update on Horror Nights, because it's done. So now we can press on and move on away from that. But
I mean, I was going to feel bad enough because I had to make an announcement on the Creepy Hollow page that we were suspending, and because, you know, Shane, the haunt owner, wanted to say, hey, we're not doing hands-on this year. And I said, let's wait. Let's see how things calm down, and let's see how things work out. We're going to suspend it. It's all in the wording, Shane. It's all in the wording, my friend. And I put up that we were going to suspend it. And I'm really dreading the time I have to go on and say it's officially done. Because as of right now, literally leading up to I'd say about 2 weeks before opening day, that'll be my limit. But after that, there's no way we can go in and retheme these rooms that we had intended on the hands-on stuff. I'm going to have to, I got to put a limit down, and it's going to be 2 weeks before we open, where I have to say, we're either bringing it back or we're not.
Well, I think you already know what the decision's going to be.
Yeah,
you know.
I just don't want to admit it yet. Leave me alone.
Yeah. It's all. I mean, yeah, no, I'm not poking you, but we all know, you know, what's coming down. It's not getting any better. But I totally understand giving yourself the leeway to do it if it's able to be done. I mean, why not? But the one good thing is, as long as you're able to open in general, you know what I mean?
And that's all I'm caring about right now. Let me open. Yeah. Let me put people through. Honestly, I wouldn't be shocked, and you might have a disagreement with this, but I am curious to see what you might think of this. I can honestly see the local government, instead of shutting us down completely, coming to us and saying, hey, we're only going to allow 500 people a night. That's it. That's your cutoff.
Well, but you know what, dude? The thing with that is, and I do agree to a point, but if you think about it, the haunted attraction industry is so unique that you really, the only people that know anything about it are the fire marshals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. I can see it more like this. They would come to you and say, "Hey, normally how many people do you go put through a night?" And you say 1,000. And then they may say, well, you can only do 50% of that capacity, and that would be 500. Or you would say 700, and they would say, well, 350. So I agree with you, but the way they would put it wouldn't be a total number. It would be a percentage, kind of like they're doing with restaurants.
Fair enough.
Now,
True.
Does that make sense? I'm agreeing with you, but I'm just saying it wouldn't be a specific number. It'd be a percentage.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that.
The sucky part would be if they say 25%, and then that would be complete and utter fucking. Oh my god, that would be a disaster. 25%.
Don't you wish that evil on me? I was okay with 50%.
No,
Why would you
I'm
say
not.
that?
No, dude, I'm not wishing that. I'm just saying it wouldn't be a specific number. It'd be a percentage.
Well, what do you know? I put through 2,000 people a night now.
Yeah, no shit. 5 trillion people a night. Is that okay?
I put through Santa Rosa and Escambia County and even Okaloosa County as a whole every single night.
Yeah, and they'd be like, "Oh, okay, well, 10,000 is your limit tonight."
Sweet, thank you. We will do our absolute best to stick close to that.
The only thing that, and I don't think this would happen, is if they imposed that responsibility on your fire marshal. Like, because the fire marshal is the one that determines how many you can have in the haunt at a time and shit like that. I can see it getting messy. Once again, I'm not wishing on you at all.
I know.
This is all oddball logistics, but my hope is that you have no restrictions, that the haunts don't have restrictions, but like I say, if I think it would be 50%. But there again,
you're sitting here sounding like me now. Oh fuck.
Yeah, dude, I'm speechless again. If I was still on Jackson, and those owners wanted to open this year under the same exact conditions, I believe I would impose, this is going to sound crazy, I would impose a 50% rule on possibly inflated numbers. Just like we
did. We're thinking on the same track right now.
just a little bit. But there again, I would, like you're doing, I would make sure that we were as safe as possible with as many contingencies, but not being attention whores or promising the moon to people when you can't. You just can't. But I know that if I was in your situation, I would say, and they wanted to open, the owner wanted to open, I would do everything in my power to make that happen. I don't think I would try to dissuade them from opening. Just because that is what you are designed to do, and that's what I was designed to do when I was dealing with it. You don't want to not open. Even with me not wanting to go to any of these places during the pandemic, I would rather, if they were going to force to be opened, I would rather it be me with them or you with Creepy to do it correctly and to do it safely. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. And I mean, every day I sit back and I say, there's got to be something that I'm missing. Something's going to bite me in the fucking ass. What's it going to be? And I keep trying to I put these scenarios together in my head, these bullshit scenarios, and I feel like a woman because I'm like, okay, this could happen. This could be happening. Well, what if this happens? And, you know, I'm trying to be prepared for about anything that could come my way. Ultimately, the real downside is all it's going to take is, hey, you can't open. Fuck. All that work for nothing. But you're right. It is
And I'll
my job, and it was your job to ensure, hey, we're going to do our damnedest to make sure that we open. That is and that's what we do.
Yeah, as safely as possible, even before a
Yeah.
pandemic. But I'll leave you with this too, because I've thought about this. If you end up being the only one open in the area, the other unfortunate thing is you're going to have some sneaky ass people that are going to do everything they can to find things to shut you down. Not city folks, but like just regular assholes. You know, people who would like to have been open, and not the Jackson people, but
I already know who you're talking about.
yeah. So that's another thing. Yeah, I figured you consider that. So, and that I'm sure that's going to happen around the United States, just in general. But that's the sad part is you're going to have to be more on your toes than normal with that kind of underhanded bullshit. But yeah,
Yep, and that's unfortunately just becoming a part of the every year struggle anymore.
Yep. So sad. But I guess since we're at the 2-hour mark, and I know you would like to just lay down with your 10 pounds of meat in your gut.
I'm fucking miserable, dude. My stomach's bubbling. I'm about to cause some destruction.
Well, dude, we'll let you go. And so we'll wind this down. As always, Kevin, man, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for coming after your meal. To put your words in. We're gonna have you back on here. You know, absolutely, you can get a hold of me 24/7. Anything I can help with, let me know. I'm gonna find you some electronics, but we'll let you go so you can destroy a toilet somewhere. And but dude, you know, totally, man. Thank you again. Holler at me, and we will let you go, and then James and I will close this out.
Absolutely, James, Mike, always a pleasure. Thank you all so much. Y'all have a good night.
All right, man. Thanks for
You
stopping
too,
by.
man. Happy late birthday.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
He's like, I gotta get out of here. Oh my God, I get out of here. So there you go. The amazing Kevin joining us for a little bit there, which is always cool. But James, I guess that's pretty much it. We've raged. We've had Vaping Clowns on, one of the best there is in the business. I guess we can actually wrap it up, eh?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I want to like restate the fact that like literally none of the stuff that we bitched about is in any way malicious to the people. It's just like one of those things where sometimes you need to be called out on your shit.
Yeah.
Like it isn't from a you know, a business standpoint by any means, because we have no dog in that fight. It's just looking out for people, I think.
Yeah, we have no reason to be spiteful, or proactively mean or offensive. But there's people right now in the industry that need to be called out, and they're not being called out. It's just like when Moto came on, you know, doing his bit. It's the same thing. This is a tight-knit community. It has unfortunately unraveled in the past couple of years, and it's unraveling very quickly this year. And being that we're in a pandemic, it's dangerous. People are not being called out on their dangerous misinformation. I guarantee you, I have not seen it. I'm going to go ahead and say that I think that tonight's live stream was a successful calling out of those people.
I think so.
Being a little obnoxious.
Feel better about it.
Yeah, I can actually sleep tonight. Thank God. But Yeah, so it's really not a malicious intent, even with my verbiage, even with me, swearing at people. It's basically like, if you see somebody getting ready to walk off a cliff and they won't listen to you, so you just walk up to them and smack them right in the damn head, so they kind of looking like, what do you want? Like you're getting ready to walk off a cliff. It's that. There's some people in the industry that they need to get off their high horse because they are literally taking that horse off a cliff, and they're taking other people on horses off the cliff with them, and that's not good. So everything that James just said, 2 thumbs up.
But I mean, other than that, I think we covered everything. I'm freaking exhausted from today, though. Seriously.
I am too, and that's weird because I have really not done anything physical today, but I between all the technology that I've been having to keep up with and the messages and the watching that 2-hour thing and then I literally I'm exhausted. Well, thank you, Danny. I'm glad you think I had a good reason to be upset. But hopefully the folks that were here, it brought to light some things. You learned some things. Hopefully that the Rage Edition lived up to its name. I think it probably did. Trust me, I was actually gearing myself up for a lot more heated, just me being excessively just way more than I was tonight. I'm glad I didn't.
Oh, if we did this morning, the fuck meter would have been off the charts with me. Like if we had this stream this morning, the shit would have hit the fan.
We now need a fuck meter. That we just need one now somehow. No, and I 1000% agree, James. If we did this stream this morning, holy shit. Oh God, it'd have been, no, it just, yeah. I'm kind of glad that I had some time to kind of chill out from some stuff and think about what I was going to say and try to arrange myself in a not so heated. Oh boy, Jesus. But now we can stop with the speculation with Horror Nights. You've got the last of the information that I care to give. Unless they just come up with like James said, they could decorate during the day. People can walk around, get a little sense of Halloween. Other than that, we're done. I'm not. Horror Nights is over with for the year. We called it, not in a bad way. It's just science and numbers. So there you go. I do feel a more urgent sense now to really get in with the home haunts and
which
ingrain
that list is still growing, by the way. So again, anybody's got some information or anybody has a home haunt or they're doing a home haunt, send it our way and I'll make sure it gets added to our list.
Yes. I think now too, now that we've gone through the Rage thing and the Horror Nights thing is probably some of the bigger news as far as haunted attractions go per se. I think we can concentrate on the projects that we've got going on for Haunted Anonymous so we can make some really positive announcements on our end. I guarantee you that Rage editions on Friday nights will be exceptionally rare because even though they're informative, they are negative as far as the energy goes, and that's not cool. This just needed to be done tonight. I think really for James, if you agree with me, for yours and mine's sanity to be able to voice it. Literally, it was driving us crazy. Literally. And we needed to air the grievances and all that kind of bit. But these will be few and far between, if not excessively rare. This may be the only one because everything needs to be uplifting from here. Unless we just see some complete ass hattery happen again, that we need to call somebody out on. Hopefully not so much. But from this point on, definitely onwards and upwards. Keep moving forward. Focus on the home haunts. Totally enjoy having y'all here, and all that kind of bit, and doing the progressive positive steps with Haunters Anonymous.
Yeah, sorry about the negative vibe tonight. It was just had to be done.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Everything's not Cheerios and unicorns in the haunt industry right now. It really isn't. And there's just a couple of folks that aren't helping. They're actually being very detrimental. So yeah. 13 skeletons. Wanted to just beat Mark and checking out. I stopped trying to be first and last because 13 and Mark, y'all are so good at it. But yeah, like James said, apologies for the negativeness, quote unquote. I think it was a productive negativeness because it needed to come out there. So, and somebody has to do it. And we just decided it was so. But other than that, we'll wind down because I'm gonna take some Tylenol. If I can get off my own hardwood floor, I'll take some Tylenol. I may be stuck here for the rest of the night. But once again, everybody, thank you so much for everybody that's still with us tonight. Thank you. Those that had to come and go, thank you too. The gratitude is beyond comprehension, especially y'all listening us rant and rave, mostly me rant and rave. But anyway, once again, thank you for this After Dark. We'll see you on Sunday. Not sure what's going on, but we'll figure it out, and I'll pass it off to James.
Yeah. So thank you guys for hanging out. Seriously, appreciate it. It was a big night, even for just a rage night. We had some awesome interactions. You guys are doing amazing at sharing and liking, getting the engagements up, making sure that we can continue to grow and bring you better stuff. So that's awesome. And yeah, dude, I'm done for tonight. Like I'm gonna go play my video game and just shut my mind off.
I'm gonna Tylenol my ass. I'll be fine with it. But yeah, all right. Well, everybody, be excellent to each other and have a great weekend.
Yep. Don't forget, eat the treats.
Eat the treats.